Hello world of sim racing and welcome to another episode of Michi's Esports Diary. I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you had a really great week. Yes, guys, it's weekend time already. And we have a couple of bullet points on the list to think about this week. And to get on with it at first, we have had numerous races on the rFactor 2 competition system. And while going through those streams and generally while going through the rFactor 2 Discord chat, a few questions here and there arose. And therefore, guys, if you are interested in having a special video out for the competition system, let me know. Put it down in the comments area below. Put down the wish list. What kind of topics shall we talk about? What kind of topics or what kind of functionalities I should show again, maybe in a separate video. I've already taken some footage for some troubleshooting and stuff. As in, you know, when you try to sign up for some series, there may be issues and so on. So that is on the list. But what is bugging you? What is the points you guys want to either have my opinion on or have me explaining it all together again? So put that down in the comment area below. And also, since we just out there in the comment area thing, to round up this intro, you've seen a few episodes of this esports diary format now. I'd be interested to see what you actually think about it. Put that also down in the comment area below. And now let's get going with the week's report. So it was last week that we had the 8 hours of Nordschleife in the Le Mans Virtual Series. It wasn't quite the race we all expected. Let's put it this way. Like in general, after all, I have personally not been too unhappy about, as you know, my love for the Nürburgring is like zero. Absolutely nothing. Like I did not even want to, like when that calendar came out, I was like, oof, oh dear. And I mean, you know, I have dodged this goddamn track for 16 years continuously. And now Le Mans Virtual Series actually made a good job. They made me suffering from exactly that. I mean, okay, a few years back I was like, maybe at some point some competitive series will run it anyway, so you should probably get some laps in, you should probably work to learn it. But, you know, I said like, no, it's not gonna happen. No one will gonna do this. And then Le Mans Virtual Series came around. Awesome job, guys. So I can't remember the last time I have crashed so many times without getting a single lap in the history of my sim racing career. Like, honestly, no idea. I remember that one traction stream where I did 15 laps, 16 laps maybe. And only I finished 5 of them without a major F-up. Sorry, without a major F-up. So, and a major F-up for me was like planking the car and completely losing seconds. Not like just, oh, we went off track and kind of nudged the wall. That was not a major F-up. Because actually I did that in the race. Don't tell anyone. Most of you guys have seen anyway. But, so on a personal level, I am very, very happy the way things went in the end for me. I was roughly a second and a half of Yerne, second of David, second of Bend. So arguably I felt myself being the bottleneck in the car, which has not happened for a long time. Anyway, as we all know, the race panned out to be very much different. We didn't deal too much with traffic, although traffic with a GTE, that was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my whole endurance racing career. Like, depending on where you've hit the GTEs, you had no other choice than pull in behind and lose 5, 6, 7 seconds because you cannot overtake. Like, you know, after the first carousel, when you go into Hohe Acht and into the end of the second sector, no chance. There is some short straight where you can maybe just pull alongside, and then there is before Pflanzgarten, I think, if I don't mix it up, there is a little bit of a Mickey Mouse left and right, but all acceleration zone. If the GTE allows you and keeps his line, you may be able to overtake him around the outside, but it is honestly on the scissors, on the knives, like it is so freaking close before actually dying. So speaking of dying, yes, the server crashed. Yes, we had 3 red flags before the event even got cancelled, or, well, the race got suspended. Now, I know that there are certain people coming around, oh, this is rFactor 2 Classic, like you can't even do an endurance race and blah, blah, blah. It's a bad sim. I honestly disagree. And I'm also a bit sore about those comments, but you have them everywhere. You know, you got iRacing fanboys defending iRacing for whatever they do. You got rFactor 2 fanboys like me that defend rFactor 2, whatever they do. You got ACC fanboys, like you got fanboys everywhere, basically. Besides being a fanboy of rFactor 2, I mean, you guys know it, like I'm 100% rFactor 2 guy. Yet though, I would not just go ahead and blame the sim, because there's evidence, you know. Virtual Endurance Championship, we run 6-hour races, 8-hour races, 12-hour races, and we've run multiple 24-hour races of Le Mans without a single server hiccup. So rFactor 2 in fact is ready for those events, is ready for endurance, and is stable enough to run a 24-hour race with no issues whatsoever. And it's not like Virtual Endurance Champions just has 10 cars out on track. No, those 24-hour races have been conducted with up to 3 different classes and with up to 45 vehicles, plus me as a streamer 24 hours on the server and broadcast on the server, so up to 50 clients, I'd say. Also, driver changes and so on come to a specific point of time. What I believe, an important disclaimer, this is what I just believe is the case. I don't have any evidence, I don't have any real data, I don't have any information from Studio 397. I heard there was an email sent out by the Le Mans Virtual Series officials to all team managers. I have not read that yet. But anyway, disclaimer, I have no evidence. But personally, what I believe is the case is that this is not rFactor 2 related in the first place. I think it is related to the track, to the Nordschleife, to the Nürburgring itself. For those of you that run rFactor 2 on a regular basis, you know how hard the Nordschleife, in fact, the entire track around the Nürburgring, is on your hardware. It takes long to load. It cuts off FPS a lot harder than any other track. And even for me personally as a streamer, I have struggled with a stable rFactor 2 picture and a stable stream and a stable machine much more on this track than on any other track in rFactor 2. That said, now you could obviously argue like, oh yeah, but Nordschleife is part of the rFactor 2 simulation. Yes, it is. But again, I don't think it's the server itself that acted up. I believe it is a combination of the track with creating server load. So the server architecture may have an issue, yes, but it's not like it is the rFactor 2 code itself that made this server crash or made this red flag come out. In fact, the server from my point of view did not crash. Everything that happened is every car around me has disappeared. So everyone was ghosting, but looking into my XML result file, I could still see my laps. I could see other people's laps. I can see other people's pit stops. I can see other people's sector times while I have not seen them on the track, which clearly is a sign that no one was kicked off the server. The server still had connection with all clients. All clients were sending data to the server and fetching data from the server. That is my personal analysis I did on my machine, and together with a team, obviously, to just understand what could have happened, what could have been the cause. Was it maybe like a multiple client-side issue, which we don't believe it is? But at the end of the day, now it's for rFactor 2 and Studio 397 and Motorsport Games to evaluate what happened to the server, and I'm 100% sure that they are doing, because of course, you know, this is a officially backed series, something very professional pulled out, and something that is run on a very high professional level, also included by FIA and ACO and FIA WEC. So the stake and shareholders of this series are, you know, professionals in their sports. So they simply don't accept and say, okay, that was a missed opportunity or whatnot. They will evaluate, they will look for evidence, and they will investigate into the they will investigate into the causes, into the events happened. Sadly, of course, that doesn't bring us back the 8 hours and all, and somehow makes up for the number of hours that we've put into the race. Personally, from a driving point of view, I am happy I have not had to drive any further. I think there were not many races in my career where I really was concerned about not blanking the car. I have been concerned about my pace. I've been concerned about maybe having a slide or whatever, or having not the best of performances. But I knew to go just around a second off pace to my teammates would mean me pushing all the way, would mean me driving on the razor's blade. Now I got razor's blade. That was the word I was looking for 6 minutes ago. And that would have been like a multiplier to the chance of death on that particular track. And it has been an astonishing journey. I know that next time I have to face the Nordschleife, it will not be as difficult as before. I have known the Nordschleife in terms of I knew which kind of corner came after each other. But it's not like, you know, other racing circuits, like you can wake me up 3 a.m. in the morning, and then if someone comes around like, Puhon, at Spa, which gear do you enter it with a Formula Pro car? And it takes me a second until I say 6th or 7th at 280, whatever. I would not be able to do that on the Nordschleife. I know die-hard enthusiasts of that track can do that. But yeah, I can't. And that sums up kind of where I am experience-wise with this track. And I am, like, you know, I have been with a crying eye out because the results... Our car has led the race for literally the entire time. And we just got into P2. Like, the sister car just got into P2 because of undercuts. We have been effectively first and fourth when the server died the final time. And in the end, being in the result files as being second and sixth. Yeah, it's not the most satisfying thing in the world, but I mean, let's face it. On the other side, it is still again P6. So both cars, I think our sister car has always been on the podium. The 444 have been not worse than P6 in 3 races, which is fine. Half of the season is done. We have the 500 miles of Sebring coming up on the 18th of December. Note that already in your calendar. And other than that, we have the 24 hours of Le Mans, which is a big points being scored. And that will be a mega event I'm looking forward. But to evaluate our season so far, I am very happy with how the team works together. I am very happy, and I have to do a mega shout out to Tom Dillman, Sergio Set the Camera, and Jonathan Aberdeen, as much as also to Ben Viscal. Regardless of the names I've just said, all of them are pushing for performance, are pushing for success, are pushing for professionalism within the team, within the strategies, within the way of work, within setup, where everyone wants to know stuff, everyone wants to improve stuff, and everyone wants to beat each other. And that's so great because, we're pushing us up towards the very limit of the car. And I think that is the source of I really want to call it success now, that we've had in the series. There are other examples in that series where things haven't gone that good for whatever reason, and I don't blame anyone being not competitive or not dedicated enough. Sometimes, when rFactor 2 decides, nope, the AI is going to take over, not your teammate, what are you going to do then? Yeah, nothing you can make up with dedication or preparation. It just happens. But I'm pretty sure that there are other teams where I'd say the performance difference between pro drivers and esports guys, or how Jimmy Ellison is saying them, gamers, is a bit bigger. Anyway, that is how the situation around LMVS is for the current situation. And we see what the Sebring 500 gets on. Anyway, that wasn't obviously the only thing that happened this week. This week we've done competition races. Monday, Tuesday. Not sure Monday. Did I do anything on Monday? I can't remember. But what I could certainly remember was the fact that I have done some competition. I did competition system racing on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday on rFactor 2. And what shall I say? It has been great. There was only one major F-up where the game just closed while loading the track. There was a minor F-up where I kind of still had a minute to register, but couldn't register. And having seen that, compared to how the rFactor 2 competition system ran a couple of months ago, that is quite an improvement. You have now longer time for getting into the session. You have linked sessions with qualifying and straight into a race after that. So it makes much more sense. It's more tangible. There's more races. There's more activity. There is more different series running at the same time. There is a race every hour. There's a race every half an hour. And you have to admit that rFactor 2 has done huge improvements on the competition system itself. At least that is what I have felt this week. And I've said in the beginning of the video already, if you have anything towards that competition system, if you have any feedback, bug reports, put them in rFactor 2 Discord. Because, and I've said this live on Friday, it is important that we get our ass up now as a community, and we forget about the fact that the competition system is still in beta conditions for closely a year now. It turns actually one on Christmas, but it is very, very much important that we keep pushing for Studio 397 to bring out new series, to bring out new features, to get bugs reported. Like, I know it is frustrating when bugs happen. It is frustrating for me. It is still frustrating. My game takes 4 minutes to load into an actual game. But I keep grinding the system to give them even more data. And now the other guys came around like, but Studio 397 has my data for half a year, but nothing has happened just yet. Well, sure, that's how it is. MSG has taken over Studio 397. This takes time. It's not like you do mergers and acquisitions and then boom, everything just goes. In the first 6 to 12 months, there is a lot of insight, inducted pain. Two companies need to be combined into one structure that makes it operational and makes it efficient. That takes time. That will mean some persons will move around. that will maybe also mean some, like you see it now, Studio 397 and MSG are hiring person for modding and for physics and for artists. That is all a result of that. There is being money invested by MSG into Studio 397, into rFactor 2, into everything that goes on there. And that takes time. And, the competition system is just maybe 10% of the entire world on rFactor 2 that's going on right now. I'm pretty sure we get new tracks. I'm pretty sure we get new cars, maybe new series, maybe new announcements soon around Christmas. Who knows? I'm pretty sure there's more going on than the competition system itself. But I know that Jimmy Ellison pushes a lot for this competition system to be usable, to be free of bugs in the future. We've seen Formula Challenge, we've seen GT Challenge on the competition system going. And I am very sure that Formula Pro and GT Pro will surely end up on the competition system as well. There shall be other leagues and other events that can be run on the competition system. But we need to get the base going. We need to get the base running. And I know that the competition system is not dead. When you browse through the files, when you browse through the result pages and the standings, you see up to 60, 70, 80 people on a weekly basis, actually on a daily basis even, in those competition races. And that's great, because looking at the player base, that is at least 25 to 30% of the effective and of the active player base. And remember, most of the player base people are league racing people. So I came to rFactor 2 because of FSR, because of VEC and so on. And now Studio 397 and rFactor 2 grow to be like, a self-inflicted organization that also provides us with racing, such as the Le Mans Virtual Cup, such as the BMW Sim with the BMW M2s. There is more and more series coming. There's more and more seriouses coming, just like Le Mans Virtual Series. We've had the race Esports All-Star Battle last year during the Corona pandemic. Well, it's still a pandemic, but during the start of it. And rFactor 2 has turned around completely. Like, look at where we have been 2 years ago with the sim. And look where we are now. That is a huge development, and that needs to be acknowledged from my personal point of view. And I appreciate every work that's been done around the competition system. I'm pretty sure. Remember, the competition system is out yet. What in between? We got the new Formula Pro car. Then around Christmas last year, we got the Ligier, we got the DPI and the Hypercar. So new cars. We got Spa last year, new tracks. We got Monza this year. So you see, there is a full variety of things going on, and I can only encourage everyone to make use of the competition system, to get in there, to keep grinding, to keep lapping, to keep racing, to keep reporting bugs. It is painful for everyone. It is painful for me as well. And sometimes on the stream I lose my F. I lose my S. I lose everything. Because I just want to race in that regard. And I'm a numbers guy. I don't want my statistics to be bad because the system is not correctly sorting in my entry. So I know the pain. And I know many people may be fed up with how long stuff takes at Studio 397. Look at iRacing though. They now announced to bring in rain. Like, the community wants that for years. So, is it any better than rFactor 2? Sure not. Anyway, that is what I want to say about the competition system. There have been loads of improvements. We've run a couple of different races, whether that is 60 minutes, whether that is 10 minutes hot races with fixed setup. Huge fun. I really, guys, get in there. Really. It is huge fun. And I'm very sure that they will push for new features Features, list of features, guys. What do you want to see on the competition system? Note it down. I think we're gonna do a full episode of the Esports Diaries just because of the competition system. Anyway, but last thing on the competition system itself, it has been a very refreshing experience this week to see so many people in, to have so much fun. We had a crazy race in the IndyCar series. I'm gonna upload this as a specific video, mark it as a setup guide, because we've basically within 25 to 30 minutes built up a car that we could race pretty quick. And I'm not gonna spoil too much, but that IndyCar race was something very, very special. So you guys gonna see a special edition of that one. Yeah, so competition system, tick it off the list. Now, we are going to have a little bit of an announcement regarding next week. I will leave town on Monday, and I will race the final race in RCCO World EX from elsewhere. So, long story coming up a bit. I'm going to race from the sporting coach side. So the person I worked with as a sparring partner in 2018, 2019, we keep updating each other's every 6 to 8 weeks. He has done loads of stuff to his sim. He's done loads of stuff to his equipment. And, you know, he was like, okay, Michi, you know, one race this week. Give me just one race this year where you race from my sim racing, well, coaching place or racing coaching place. And we agreed on that being the final RCCO race in November now. And you guys can expect some vlogging. So Monday I'm gonna leave town, 600 kilometers to the north. I will be there on Tuesday for a full day of filming and photography, and you know, we're also going to create a little bit of a of, like, for me it's gonna be a memorial a little bit, but it's also going to be a little bit of a yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna be image film, image video. We need to see what it ends up in the end, but kind of from the perspective of a full day of esports, let's say. At least that is the plan. However that will go in the end, we will see. You know, we have a little bit of our thoughts in mind already of what we're going to do. And guys, that will be amazing. Like that sim, you know, you see me smile. And I know you guys are always like, whoa, Michi, that steering wheel, and oh, Michi, that I don't know what. That rig looks so sick and so great, and it's nothing compared to what I'm going to be racing in on Tuesday. It's nothing. That sim is trying to get you the real deal. It's trying to be as as realistic and as sophisticated it possibly can be. That means his sim is built out of, it is a complete wooden construction. It's going to be a complete monocoque, so it is like a Formula 3 car standing in the backyard. So it's actually in his garage, but it is like a full former FIA Formula 3 car that is sitting there. It's not attached to the ground with suspension and tires, but like just from the modeling it's built without suspension and tires, it is just looking like a Formula 3 car. So it got a rear wing, it is all very basic though. But the system itself is sitting on a slider. So in the back, the rig can move to the left and right by 15 degrees to the left and the right. So when I slide, my car will go left and right. So I will be shaking left, right in that car. if I do spinning and sliding. The system has, I think, 17 butt kickers. 8 at the front for the simulating the 2 front tires, 8 at the rear for the rear tires, and 1 right here in the back. So when I shift up, I get punched. That is like, not saying that is how real life car feels, but I think it should simulate as much as possible. So, you know, if there is a real bang when you put in a new gear, that is how it can simulate that with a butt kicker. The seat is like a fully modern technology. Like, it's usually been used to take seating positions. So what will happen is the seating will be filled with air, and then I will put myself in and find a comfortable sitting position, and then the air has been pulled out of the seating device, so it's kind of vacuumed, and well, then I will sink in, and every time I jump in, I'll be like, oh yeah, this seat is completely designed and just done for me. And that is so great. Like, he has got such high-end equipment. I think he's equipped with everything from Botner sim hardware, so hydraulic brake pressures, hydraulic brake pedals, and so on. I think an officially licensed FIA wheel as a rim. The way the sim has been done, 360 degrees cinema wall. Like, oh my god, like, you turn left and right, and everywhere you look, you have full surrounding. You have everything just pitch perfect. And as an output device, and I'm not sure if that could actually be performance-wise very, very clever, or not as clever, because you still would have to project the pixels. But effectively, he has set up high-end beamers for, you know, left, right, front, and rear for the mirrors. There's actual mirrors on the car, so I can't look back. It's amazing. It's so big, and he got a big tower PC. And I think it contains a GPU that is usually not available, is easy available on the market. And I'm not talking on a 390 Ti or so. I think it's some industry GPU, like some really, really big, nice stuff. And yeah, we're gonna do loads of filming. We're gonna do loads of racing. We're gonna do loads of talking, of analyzing as well. He got a lot of technology. Let's see how deep we go into that in the actual session. But I will have a full day of work with him. I will have a race in the evening in RCCO. That means I will not have a stream on Tuesday, I'm afraid. I've heard that RCCO wants to put out the signal via Restream, so maybe I can broadcast the event on my channels, but I'm not going to have a big race or a big point of view of myself available. It's just because, you know, there's so much machinery, there's so much stuff, and I just cannot grab all my stuff and put up my PC, and you know, like, he has so many devices linked to each other with a big equipment that I just don't want to say, okay, and now here's my stuff, and we need to include this, and we need to have everything as I have it at home. So I'm like, you know, we're just gonna skip that stream in that regard, and I hope you guys don't mind. But yeah, that is what is going to happen next week. So again, I'm leaving town on Monday. I come back on Wednesday. We will have some vlogs on it. I'm not sure if from the train or just from him. maybe not too many vlogs at all. It could actually be quite possible that I am very much stuffed up. You know, we need to press so many to-dos into one single day, and we need to do a good job there, let's say, and get up to speed, get up to rhythm, get up and finish up all what we want to do. So we will have a little bit of a studio going on. We will have a little bit of image, video filming, of photography going on. So, you know, it's a long to-do list. It's a long list of things we need to get done. And guys, I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm already a bit like, but I will be interested to see how big the change is compared to my actual sim here. So obviously I will do some practice with the RCCO car to know exactly how it feels on my end. Then try to draw the comparison to the other sim, like how quick do I get into a different rig, into a different simulator, and get adapted to all the things I elsewise feel, you know. So that will be also something for the future. If I want to have a motion rig at one point, if I want to go into VR, I mean, it's not really VR when looking around and having everything on a mega screen. But you know, just like to see what's possible, to just get ideas, to get more experience. I mean, remember back then when I was doing the sparring partnership, I was back on my G29. And every time I came home, I was getting on that. It wasn't even a load cell, but it was a potentiometer brake. And I was like, what? Where's my brake? It took me quite some while to fiddle in that again. And this time I hope the change will not be as drastic. But I still believe that I will take away a lot of new impressions from it and a lot of new experience, and eventually we'll have we'll have a reason to come back, I'd say. Anyway, guys, if you're looking forward, and generally, if you have any thoughts, any questions whatsoever, put them down in the comment area below. We're gonna have a look at them. We've already talked about the fact with the competition system, and last but not least, we're coming to the end of this episode of Michi's Esports Diary. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts. I'd be happy to hear your ideas and your feedback on the episode. Like we started 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've now done 4 or 5 episodes. Of course, on Tuesday, despite I'm not going to be there will be the F1 analyzers of the Qatar GP that is going on this weekend. And yeah, whatever you guys have on mind, whatever drives your business when you're watching these videos, I would appreciate a lot if you put them down in the comment area below. Give a thumbs up if you like the video, give a thumbs down if you don't like the video, and tell me why. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you will enjoy Formula 1. I hope I will see some of you during the vlogging. And other than that, hope you come back for more. Have a good weekend altogether and see you there. Goodbye.